Hello, this is my League Starter guide for the Blight of Contagion Trickster. This build is a clear speed machine. It is hands down one of, if not the best build in the game for clearing breaches. And what is this league's mechanic? Breach 2.0. It will also excel at Big Boom Expedition, Blights, and Legions. Trickster has been nerfed in the 3.27 update, however this has near zero impact on the build, and in this video I will go over the gear, gems, jewels, and a POB that includes step-by-step leveling for every act, progression throughout the endgame, including a full written guide that I will link below. This video will be primarily going over the changes to the build in 3.27. If you want more of a broad overview to the build, I will leave a link to the previous video in the description below. So starting off, what has changed with the build? Three main things have occurred. Number one, spell suppression has received a sweeping nerf from reducing spell damage by 50% to 40%. This means you're now going to take 60% of a spell's damage instead of the prior 50. Next up, we have a nerf to one step ahead, or I should say a gutting, because it went from 108% action speed minimum for your character to 90%. This means that you are no longer immune to chills, anything you can really think of. You are no longer immune to that. You will still feel that chilled ground, you will still feel that elder pull, you will still feel all of that delirium BS that occurs on the ground. It's gonna feel bad. That isn't really a problem because we didn't take it anyways in the endgame setup. However, with the early game version of the build, we will now not be taking it at all and will be immediately moving into Swift Killer instead. And last up, we have the change to Spellbreaker. It no longer has the free 20% chance to suppress spell damage, but in exchange, it now prevents plus 15% of suppressed spell damage, up from 10. Now, what does this mean is that it's actually a buff compared to other characters on this patch. If you're a suppression character and you're not a trickster, you're going to be taking 60% of damage from spells, whereas Trickster is going to be taking 45%. So it's still a 5% increased spell damage taken effectively compared to last patch, but compared to other characters, you are much better off with suppression. Hopping over to the POB here, we're going to do a little bit of yapping about what this means for the build in the early stages of the game, right when on day one league start, all the way through the mid game, end game, and finally when you're maxing out the build. There's not many changes, but there are a little, some nuances that you're going to have to do now. So first off, we no longer have one step ahead. That is just straight up out. What does that mean? Well, now we have Swift Killer, and we have to find a way to gain frenzy charges. Easiest way to do this is going to be to just grab Overcharge for 8% chance to gain a power, frenzy, or endurance charge on kill. Now normally that's kind of meh, but with Swift Killer's 200% increased charge duration, this is actually a pretty great way to just have charges throughout your entire map. Pretty much infinitely. So there's that. Next up, you're going to have to find a little bit more suppression. Now, you got two options here. You either find a little bit on your gear. As you can see, this is all the 2-stat gear. The only thing I've added to any of this 2-stat gear is just one line of 10% suppression. You want to find this just on one piece of your gear, preferably. Okay? And then you have two options from there. You can either pick up reflexes right here, or you can pick up quick step right there. Okay, that's all you're doing. You just need to extend into one of these. This number right here, the 100% chance to suppress spell damage, plus 27. This is overcapped. POB doesn't account for the loss of this 20%. So if that is saying 120, you're good. Okay, so either here or there. Going from there, early to mid game, has anything changed at all? I don't think so. It's the same thing. From here, you're pretty much good with your amount of points that you have. Okay, you're getting your suppression up here. You're getting it here. This has been removed, and you're good. Okay. Mid to end game. Here is where you want to get off of relying on this for your frenzy charges, and get the line on your body armor, preferably. You can use this. If you have this, you can actually drop Overcharged. I personally like keeping it on just for the endurance charge generation. Again, with 200% increased charge duration, it's effectively permanent endurance charges and frenzy charges on your character the entire map once you get that first pack or two down. You can even consider getting rid of the frenzy charge mod on the body armor if you would like, but that might be a bit more iffy for when you're getting, you know, your 1 stone, 2 stone, 3 stone, 4 stone, all of that, doing your bosses and whatever. You're going to want the Frenzy Charge mod, because this isn't going to be reliable for that. Now, swapping over into the end game version of the build here, this is where the primary change is going to occur, because now we are dropping this suppression here. We don't have this, and we don't have this. What has changed is, instead of having a pair of Warlock gloves, we now have a pair of Phantom mitts, and we're going to have to squeeze in an extra suffix of suppression right here. As you can see, we are at 100% suppression with 28 overcap, so that actually means we're 8 overcapped right now, but the gear is going to be a bit tighter. You're going to need a higher roll of suppression on your armor if you don't have suppression on the implicit here. I think that just having a pair of Phantom mitts over a pair of Warlock gloves, taking a little bit of hit to your energy shield, is going to be just fine. That's the only change at all that has been made. It's the only thing you need to do, and you are going to be good to go, same as last patch. There you go. Now, I'm going to go in and talk a little bit about the leveling portion of this build, common mistakes that people made on the previous patch, how to level, all of that stuff. So starting off, level 1, you are going to want to mule a witch. It's sad, it is what it is, it only takes 2 minutes, just do it. Go make a witch, go do Hillock, get to town, you're going to get your Blight gem, you're going to get an additional Arcane Surge, you're going to look at the vendor, and you're going to see if there is a blue-blue-green or blue-blue-blue wand, or any 3-link in the other vendor for your armor pieces, and then you're going to put all of that, all of your gear, all of your flasks into your tab, and then you're going to log out, delete the character, make a trickster, and go. Okay? Now, some common mistakes that people made that I saw were they were leveling up the Arcane Surge that you have on your Flame Dash. Do not do this. You have 2 copies or 3 copies of Arcane Surge. You're going to have one on your Essence Drain, you're going to have one on your Blight, and you're going to have one on your Flame Dash. Your Blight and Essence Drain, you want to level up the Arcane Surge. On your Flame Dash or your Frost Blink or whatever, do not level up your Arcane Surge. You want it so that when you use Flame Dash or you use Frost Blink, it goes off, it immediately activates Arcane Surge with 1 press, so you're always gaining full benefit from it for your Blight and for your Essence Drain. Okay, moving into Act 2, you have all the same stuff. You have your shield charge with your faster attacks. You have Withering Step, Contagion, Skitterbots, Clarity, all of that. Okay, by Act 3, this is when you get your lab. Now, you have a choice here. You can continue leveling with Essence Drain and Contagion, which is what I did. Okay, or you could go and farm first lab for Blight of Contagion. I wouldn't recommend this. I would just look to buy a Blight of Contagion as early as possible. They're gonna be up. I got one for a couple C on the first day. Just, you know, if you find a decent random unique, you know, or some decent random piece of gear, throw it in your auto trader, or maybe your regular tab if people might not have gold early. We'll have to see what the gold costs are like, so keep that in mind. Get a couple Chaos Orbs, buy a Blight of Contagion, or you could go farm it yourself if you are a psychopath. Okay, moving on from there, it's all the same. You'll see the POB here, right? Every single gem, all of this, you're set. Okay, and pro tip, if you are leveling through the campaign at level 28, that is the first level where you can start getting 5 links, actually. If you interact with the Breach Tree mechanic that they showed in the live stream, they showed a node that says 150 re-rolls of sockets and links on pieces of gear that when you produce something from the tree. This means that you can get a 5 link so easy. You are going to be getting so many 5 links out of this. It is going to be crazy. You should 100% interact with this breach mechanic early on, going through the campaign around level 28, and get that free 5 link, because it's going to be amazing. Okay, I don't know the exact level for a 6 link. You might have to go look that up yourself. but you should do the same thing for a 6-link. I'm sure I'm going to look that up and figure it out before the league launches. Do the same thing, because early on in maps, you are going to be able to just get a 6-link. I guarantee you, if you are doing this league mechanic, you will have a 6-link before you are in red maps. I guarantee it, okay? So that's going to be it from me. If you liked this video or if it helped you out at all, please leave it a like. And if you want to see more updates to this build or other builds I do in the future, subscribe now. I'll be league starting a VD Slinger Elementalist, and I'll have a video going over that tomorrow. I'm live every day over at Twitch TV/PathOfKY, so I can answer any questions you may have there, or feel free to leave a comment below, and I answer every question I see there as well. Just going to leave a little bit of raw footage at the end here, showcasing a quick map. Keep in mind this footage is in day 1 gear, about 20 C worth, and it was actually taken just before 3.26 launched. Fortunately, I lost all of my 3.27 footage because I forgot to save it from the live streams before the Blight of Contagion buff was in, which was 40% more damage across the board. If you want a more in-depth overview of the entire build, I will leave the previous video below so you can check that out. And yeah, thanks for watching.
Hi, I'm Chris Wilson from Grinding Gear Games.
Subscribe now and like the video.